that we are also visible to our TV audience. This is the October 3rd regular meeting of the Durango City Council. May we begin with a roll call?
Councilor Bettini?
Here.
Councilor Bricky?
Here.
Councilor Youssef?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Marbury?
Here.
Mayor White?
Here. I'll begin the evening with a proclamation. This is a proclamation for Manufacturing Day. Whereas Durango has an innovative economy where manufacturing plays a critical role in the diverse business climate, and whereas Durango is a place where invention thrives, making the community one of the nation's top regions for businesses and careers, as well as a lucrative area for long-term investment. And whereas Durango and the surrounding area has more than 750 employees working in manufacturing companies that produce everything from water blasting equipment to beer. And whereas Colorado manufacturers boost the state's economic growth, provides jobs for skilled workers, and linked innovation in other sectors. And whereas manufacturers contribute to the economic health of Durango and raise awareness of high-skilled career opportunities in manufacturing. And whereas Durango appreciates manufacturers with novel products that make things happen. Therefore, I, Dick White, Mayor of the City of Durango, do hereby proclaim October 6th, 2017 as Manufacturing Day in honor of Durango businesses and the innovative workforce that they employ. Do we have someone here tonight to accept? Yes. Sorry. Hi.
Hi,
Heather?
Kristen.
No, Kristen.
Yep,
Oh,
from
that's
the
right.
Alliance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, first of all, here's Liz. And
Thank you.
thank you for coming, and if you have a few words to say.
I'd just like to say thank you on behalf of the Alliance. The manufacturing in this town is a huge part of what makes our economy tick. So thank you for acknowledging it as a city, and thank you to all of you for participating. Thank you very much.
And in context, I will take one item out of my council reports to say that one of the upcoming events is that Friday evening or Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. at Stone Age Tools, there's going to be a gathering to celebrate Manufacturing Day and some presentations about local manufacturing and how that benefits the economy. So moving on, the next item is the review of the consent agenda. May we have a reading, please?
Certainly. Item 4.1 is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of September 19th, 2017. Items 4.2 through 4.5 are requests for public hearings with a proposed date of October 17th, 2017. 4.2 is to consider the Albert boundary adjustment minor subdivision. 4.3 is to consider a request from GRVP LLC for a preliminary development plan on parcel F of Three Springs Village 1, filing 2A. 4.4 is to consider land use and development code text amendments. 4.5 is to consider an ordinance to authorize an exchange of city-owned land on Woodland Circle. And item 4.6 is final approval of ordinance 2017-13, authorizing the lease of city-owned property at 2301 Main Avenue, located near Brookside Park, to the Durango Chamber of Commerce, Inc., and declaring an effective date.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Is there any member of the public who wishes to remove any item from the consent agenda? Any member of council? Then I would invite a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
May we have a roll call?
Councilor Bettini?
Yes.
Councilor Marbury?
Yes.
Councilor Bricky?
Yes.
Councilor Youssef?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem White?
Yes.
I'm
Mayor.
sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Marbury
Yes.
and Mayor White.
Yes. Moving on, the next item is public participation.
Mayor White, I have invited tonight the Durango High School International Aeronautical Champions to come before us so we can celebrate their accomplishments. So would the sponsor and the students please come to the podium? Come on down. And if you would introduce yourself and tell the audience about the contest and what it entailed and where you went.
Absolutely. My name is Paxton Scott. I was the business section head this year for the aerospace design team. So to give you guys a little bit of background, the aerospace design team is initially a class that's second semester at Durango High School, led by Ms. Furtauer. And in that class, we work on developing a 40-page proposal, which is in response to a request for proposal from NASA. And over the course of that semester, we write about 50 pages on a number of topics, specifically structures, operations, automations, humans, and business, and that address the request for proposal given to us by NASA, and then we submit that to the national competition. And if we qualify, we make it to the international competition held in Florida, which is where we do that same thing in 42 hours with 60 or 52 other students from around the world. And this year we were paired with the 52 other students. Unfortunately, we placed first at that international competition.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Caitlin. I was the head of humans at the actual competition, and it was just a really great experience, and I really enjoyed doing that. I was in charge of kind of leading a group of about 17 kids, and just designing the different human factors, comfort, fun, entertainment, things like that.
Alright, my name is Sarah Bierling, and I was in the operations section for the summer competition in Florida. And basically in operations, we deal with food, water, electricity, and atmosphere. I'm Allison Hall. I'm the operations and infrastructure section head for our class. I also worked with Sarah on operations this year at internationals.
And I'm Sabina Furtauer. I'm the sponsor of the team, and basically my role is to fundraise enough money to get these kids so they can go.
Thank you. Could you tell
They
us,
actually handle the rest of it.
what countries did you meet from at the competition?
Yeah, absolutely. So on our, what we call them as companies, we had our team from Durango, Colorado, and then we had a team from Seattle, Washington, another team that was combined from Iowa and Texas, another team that was from India, another team that was from China, and the last team,
Romania.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have bragging rights right here in Durango, so let's give them a big round of applause. Well, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule, and I'm just so excited that you could come tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. It's an outstanding accomplishment. Anyone else wish to address the council this evening? Public participation.
Hello, good evening. My name is Carter Ryder, and I'm from the DHS Student Council. I'm the DHS Student Body Co-President, and we would like to give you guys a monthly report, and this will be the first of hopefully one for every month.
I'm Lana Rasma. I'm also from the Durango High School Student Council, and I'm Student Body Vice President.
Okay, excellent. So we had a successful start of the school year, and we welcomed the largest freshman class the DHS has seen in over 10 years. There are 354 freshmen this year.
Wow.
We are aware of the disastrous results of the hurricanes in the U.S. and have began raising money for hurricane relief. So far, we have raised close to $300 and will continue those efforts. We have passed the hat at sporting events and encouraged spectators to donate what they could. Our directors of community service have continued to think of ways to help those affected by the disasters.
This year, there are 700 DHS students involved in fall sports or activities, which means that approximately 65% of the student body is involved in a fall activity. AP placement numbers are also up. We have over 40% of our student body taking advantage of advanced placement classes, and Durango High School also opened a new softball field, and the softball team played their first home game in over 15 years.
Theater Troupe 1096 cast their fall musical of Grease, and that will open in November.
The Durango Cross Country girls and boys team, after this weekend in Phoenix, Arizona, the girls team is ranked 13th in the nation, and the boys team is ranked 32nd in the nation, and they're gearing up for the league and state meets that will come in these next weeks. Also, in the student council realm, as as usual, homecoming is our main focus at the beginning of the year. So planning is, getting geared up. Homecoming is in just a few weeks. It's October 16th to the 20th. And we got inspiration from Snowdown, and our theme this year is Safari So Good. And this year's Student Council's goal will be to include the community and DHS alumni more than we have in past years.
Currently, there are 39 clubs open for students to participate in at DHS. This ranges from Scuba Club to Asian Cuisine Club, Feminist Club, Knitting Club, Community Service Clubs, and LGBT clubs. Recently, Student Council approved the bylaws for a club called DHS Junior State of America, and their mission is to encourage civic engagement, educate on the democratic process, and foster that healthy discussion and communication between opposing opinions.
The DHS career and technical education programs are working with community groups such as the Restaurant Association and the Home Builders Association to gain input on how to become more effective programs at DHS. And the first edition of the El Diablo, the high school newspaper, comes out tentatively on October 16th.
For the first time at DHS, a captain's class has now been implemented. This class is every Tuesday morning for 50 minutes, and it's led by the Student Council Advisor, Dale Garland. All sports captains for the year are required to attend, and this is where we talk about and learn different skills of leadership, communication, positive attitudes, and perseverance. It also creates a unity between the sports at DHS and encourages different sports teams to attend each other's events.
And we had a brief report on the aerospace team. Obviously, they came, which we're very happy about. They know more details than us. But I would also like to mention there are four total international awards that individuals can get at the competition, and 3 out of the 4 of those awards were won by DHS students. Alrighty, and we are excited about the great things that are going on at DHS. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. We'll happily answer them.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate this. Any other member of the public?
I was asking Dale why his picture wasn't on the wall from when he served on council here. So.
I know.
That's before film.
Oh, that's funny. Mayor, thank you. Council, thank you. We'd like to introduce ourselves. I'm Jack Llewellyn with the Durango Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Christy Zeller, the Executive Director of the La Plata County Energy Council.
Kate Middleton, Executive Officer of the Home Builders Association of Southwest Colorado.
One thing we'd like to do, you've probably seen Pam Glasgow, she'll raise her hand back in the back of the room there. She's been coming to council meetings for quite a while now, and she represents the Coalition, which is a Chamber, Energy Council, Home Builders Association, and Durango Area Association of Realtors. They weren't available tonight because they're at a conference, but we just wanted to come in and formally introduce Pam Glasgow. We apologize for not getting here sooner after the election in the springtime, but again, she is our contractor who, as we say, diligently takes notes and reports all city information back to all of our 4 organizations. These notes are shared with individual members under our Hot Topics column. Ideally, we also produce a white paper on various topics, and that comes out once every year. And mostly we want to extend our services on behalf of all of our organizations and our membership. And please consider us as a resource if you're needing anything within our areas of expertise. Again, we'd like to recognize that the Realtors Association is part of our organization. Together, we represent about 1,500 members. Some of those members include City of Durango, Fort Lewis College, larger organizations, so those numbers multiply with individual employees. And personally, from the Chamber of Commerce, we'd like to thank the city for working with us in finding our new building location. We're looking forward to next steps and moving out and having a new permanent location.
Great, so because we get all these notes, we review them, so we're going to just give you a couple of topics and some special thanks as well. We really want to thank all of you for your service to the council, and we want to encourage you as you receive public testimony to make decisions that are good for all residences and the businesses. In particular, we noticed there's a lot of 5-0 votes. And those are always good, but we specifically noticed the Boker lumber property had a 3 in favor and 2 against vote. And so those are okay too. I served on a school board like Melissa. We like that diversity. It shows that you're all being very thoughtful. But all 4 of our organizations do encourage development to help with the shortage of housing. We want to see those affordable places for our employees to live, work, and play. And we also believe that new development not only provides property taxes for the La Plata County coffers, but also potentially have the effect of increasing your sales tax too. So, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for your service as well. We have noticed public participation where someone has asked for transparency, wanting monthly financial reports. These kinds of requests are always supported by our organizations. It takes a lot of bravery to come forward and speak publicly to y'all. Transparency in government is always good, no matter what the topic is, but particularly with people's money. And being an ex-banker, I know how important that is. Finally, it's been noticed that the city is in need of income and your sales tax projections for 2017 are not as precise as you would have wanted them to be. We encourage you to set meaningful city council goals that match your budget, address infrastructure, and recognize that declining revenue requires hard choices and sometimes tough decisions. We wish you success as you move forward with your budget and planning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. In fact, we go into an all-day budget meeting on Thursday.
Yes, we do.
So, very timely
To do
information.
more or less exactly what you were asking.
Yes. Thank you very much.
My name is Derek Wadsworth. I'm a local solar installer, but I'm also here on behalf of San Juan Citizens Alliance and just as a citizen of Durango. I want to thank the council for their pledge to move forward with the CCC agreement and moving forward with really the goal of renewable energy for the city, as that falls into part of the infrastructure and energy management for the future and future growth. I'd like to see that, encourage you guys to keep moving forward with that. We understand that there's budget restraints or thoughts of what this might cost. We want to see that as a revenue bonus for the city. We don't want it to be detrimental. We don't want it to cost the city money. When you're looking at a map, it's important to know the city that is your destination. Otherwise, you're just looking at a map and it's just fun. If we know where we want to go, there are many roads to get there. We're confident that those roads are ultimately beneficial for the community, the people, the infrastructure, the city as a whole, the county, and ultimately humanity, if we're talking about climate change as a whole. I actually, on the way here, heard a very nice poll that said 78% of the public would like to see, 78% of the public would like to see local governments taking action towards climate change now that we've pulled out of climate accord agreement with Paris. And if that's the case, then we are the local government. We can do this here. And so that'll keep local revenue here instead of shipping it out. It'd be great to partner with local manufacturing, just like you said. There's tons of opportunity for manufacturing here, for jobs, for those kids that were just here that want aerospace technology. We need those kids to stay here and help us solve these problems. So I encourage you guys to keep moving forward with those goals. Let us know how we can help you in any way, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Any other member of the public wish to speak tonight? In that case, we will move on to council reports and actions.
Well, I had the privilege and opportunity to be escorted along with Councilor Youssef this morning up to the homeless encampment just outside of city limits on county land. And it really just wanted to thank the Sheriff's Department for affording Ed Avers time. And we also were able to meet with some of the folks that are part of the faith-based coalition who have some interest in forming a management group that may be interested in helping with a homeless situation. Really, I want to also encourage my other counselors here and city staff, anybody that hasn't been up there, it was illuminating. I learned a lot. A lot of my assumptions about the conditions of the camp and numbers of people up there, and really the environment and its totality were challenged just by the visit. It was very, very interesting. So I'll be happy to share in more detail with the council as needed. That's all I have.
Well, I'll go. I would like to thank the mayor and also our chief of police for serving at the Kiwanis Pancake Day last Thursday. They gave their time, and I really appreciated that. Also, the city council will be participating in the Cowboy Parade this coming Saturday at 10 o'clock. So come down and join us. In November, we have the ballot 2A, and that's the ballot asking city residents to vote to raise their property taxes. For most of us, it's about $70 a year. And our city property taxes have not been raised since 1982. So I want you to think about, what did your hair look like in 1982? Okay?
What color was it?
And what?
Sure.
So if you can remember 1982, then let's think about going forward with the fire department. What they're asking for would be funding for more EMTs, the training of the EMTs, replacing the 20-year-old fire trucks, and also more ambulances. The call volume has increased over the years. 71% of the call volume takes place in the city of Durango's city limits. And remember, our fire department goes from all the way from Purgatory all the way to the New Mexico state line. So that next ambulance call could be yours. Vote yes on 2A.
I'll go. We had a very interesting and informative Eggs and Issues with the Chamber of Commerce at the DoubleTree Hotel a couple weeks ago. What comes first, development or infrastructure? Several city councilors were there, and it was a very interesting discussion from some developers, developing leaders in our community, talking about the large construction cost increases, infrastructure cost increases, and therefore increased in home prices in our community, and contemplated different options to address. It was overwhelming at times, I think, as a new city councilors, and they did definitely talk about the need for increased density to help offset the increased costs. And also, DHM Design did a fabulous 3D presentation, giving a vision of what we could look like on our main avenues, and it was really helpful, and I appreciate the partnership that the city has made in that investment in that design and vision for our community. I had a leadership panel with our mayor and previous councilor Doug Lyon at Animas High School, and we enjoyed speaking with their leadership class. That was fun last week, and it is definitely fundraising season for all of our nonprofits. They've been going on a regular basis, many different fundraisers, Manna Soup Kitchen, Durango Adult Education Center, luncheon, many counselors were there, Community Foundation, Powerhouse Science Center, and to name just a few. There are so many, and I just want to thank everybody in our community for supporting those. They're great causes in our community to continue to support, and it's the type of support, the residents in our community that come out that make this community so special. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, the Durango Adult Education Center, Mayor Pro Tem Marbury and I are on that board, and that was
excellent one.
It was a huge fundraiser and always so important for that work. I just returned a few minutes ago from Denver, and prior to that, Washington, D.C., for working with the El Pomar Foundation. We just have our annual meeting where we give away about $250,000 worth of grant requests to, this year our focus is on mental and behavioral health, and funding some of the smaller nonprofit organizations in our community. So hopefully that'll help. We also established a $20,000 emergency fund for affordable daycare centers if they're having trouble getting through the process, and they can't make all their architectural requirements, and they need to add some new staff. We're trying to get more seats for affordable daycare facilities in our community. El Pomar Foundation it's one of the larger private philanthropic organizations in the state, and funded by the folks that made a bunch of money in Cripple Creek back in the day, built the Broadmoor Hotel, and now carry on about a $800 million fund for to fund nonprofits throughout the state. So I'm happy to serve on that board.
Okay. I've got a couple of announcements. I will not be having my office hour this Thursday because the city council is having our budget retreat. Next week, I also have a conflict during my normal lunch hour, and I'm going to try something new that I understand other mayors in some other Colorado communities have done. On next Thursday morning at 9:30, I will be down in the Steaming Bean for coffee with the mayor, and hope some folks will join me. Other recent events, the Eggs and Issues was a very informative event. In addition to the presentation at Animas High School, I responded to a invitation to talk to third graders at Animas Valley Elementary, which they were just a very enthusiastic group. Monday night last week, the League of Women Voters sponsored a forum on carbon pricing. Patrick Cummings, who's a local, was presenting the side of cap and trade, and he works with former Governor Ritter up at the Center for New Energy Economy at CSU. The other speaker was Yoram Bauman, who was the author of the recent carbon tax proposal in the state of Washington. And he said it was an extremely informative enterprise. And he basically urged Coloradans to say, put something on the ballot. Because one of the things that has not happened is, there's the poll that we just heard from Mr. Wadsworth says 78% of people really concerned about climate change. And I went to a presentation at the Municipal League last summer where the governor's advisor on climate change was saying, yeah, everybody, public opinion polls say people are really in favor, but we don't talk about it. So one of the things that's going on in the community right now is that people are indeed talking about it. I'm the mayor, and so I am the council liaison to my own mayor's Youth Advisory Commission who met this week. They're discussing their agenda for this year. It's definitely going to include a liaison and engagement with the San Juan Basin Health Department suicide prevention effort, especially among youth. The Snowdown event that they've been sponsoring the last couple of years that will continue, and their annual Youth Expo, and they're meeting with the larger youth engagement program next week, and we'll be discussing the, actually I believe it's the third Monday, to resolve, they're looking for another project to take on. It might wind up being hurricane relief, or it might be something more local. Utilities Commission also met yesterday and had discussed the mayor and the Utilities Commission, or the manager and the Utilities Commission staff presented the capital improvement plan, and there was some discussion. There were a couple of members of the public who urged us not to proceed with the anything having to do with the Ridges Basin water treatment plant, and there was some discussion around it. I would mention a very important event tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. At the Rec Center, the kickoff of a town hall discussion by the Durango Police Department, beginning a strategic planning effort. I applaud the effort that Chief Afzal is making here. I think this is going to be a wonderful step of engaging the community in the future of the department. And I think the Cowboy Gathering and Manufacturing Days have been mentioned. Among the many fundraisers include the Four Corps is having a Solar Gods and Goddesses fundraiser at the Arts Center Friday evening, followed by the Solar Home Tour on Saturday. And that completes my report, and we move on to public hearings, of which there is one this evening, which is a public hearing to consider an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the 2017 sales and use tax refunding bonds. I see Ms. Brown coming up for the staff report.
Good evening, Mayor and City Councilors. This is a public hearing to consider the approval of an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement, an ESCO agreement, and related documents in order to refinance the city's outstanding sales and use tax revenue bond series 2009. The pledge of repayment for the refinance bonds is derived from a portion of the city's sales and use tax revenue generated at the rate of 2%. Because timing is essential in any refinancing issue, the city charter provides for the authorizing ordinance to be introduced and adopted at the same city council meeting, which will take place on October 17th. The city issued a request for proposal for fixed rate lending. As a result, the city received 5 proposals from qualified banks. The city considered the qualifications and experience of the lenders, their ability to comply with the preferred structure and terms as outlined in the request for proposals, and the overall cost of the proposals as determined by the city. After reviewing the proposals, Vectra Bank Colorado was selected by the city. The expected amount of the loan is $10,360,000, which will be sufficient to fully refund the Series 2009 bonds and pay all transaction costs currently estimated at $60,000. The indicative interest rate has been locked in at 2.37% for a callable loan of $10,360,000. If the savings are distributed on an equal annual basis through the years 2017 through 2028, the estimated reduction in annual debt service is projected to be between $65,000 and $70,000 per year. This produces an estimated total savings of approximately $775,000 net all costs, with a present value benefit to the city of $683,623, or 7.1% of the refunded amount. The refunding ordinance will be presented on October 17th, and if approved by City Council, the closing is expected to occur on November 2nd. The potential savings are currently estimated, as stated above, at $775,000 or $683,623 present value over the life of the loan. And it is the recommendation of the city manager and myself that the City Council, after hearing testimony from the public, consider the approval of an ordinance on October 17th authorizing the refinancing of the City of Durango's 2009 sales and use tax revenue bonds.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. At this point, I will open the public hearing. Seeing no member of the public who is not officially engaged here tonight, I don't see anyone coming up to speak. I will close the public input part of the hearing and ask for comments from council.
Well, I'll comment that anytime the city of Durango can save about $683,000 or $700, whatever it is, that's fabulous. Hip, hip, hooray for a local bank. Good strategic planning. Congratulations. I'm patting everybody on the back who did this. I think it's fabulous. Thank you for taking that extra effort.
Any other comments? I would just simply underscore that sentiment. I really thank staff for being on top of this and seeing the opportunity of the still low interest rate environment, saving our taxpayers a lot of money. Thank you so much.
And this is so transparent. Someone talked about being transparent, city council and financing. We are so transparent. Too bad the Durango Herald isn't here to pick it up. But if you're listening, then you know how proud we are of this. And Mayor, I will move to, hello, Mary. I will move to the approval of the ordinance on October 17th, authorizing the refinancing of the City of Durango 2009 sales and use tax revenue bonds.
Second?
And we have a roll call.
Councilor Bricky?
Yes.
Councilor Bettine?
Yes.
Councilor Youssef?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Marbury?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. And I believe that concludes our business for this evening. There are no other items. The time is 7:08. It's not an absolute record for the city council,
But not bad.
Not bad.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.